You know that feeling when your sentences are just a little choppy, a little repetitive? Well, today we are going to fix that. We're going to talk about one of the most powerful tools a writer has. Let me just show you what I mean.
So look at this. On the left, you've got two sentences. I bought a new car. The car has a sunroof. They're fine, sure, but kind of clunky, right? Now look at the right. I bought a new car which has a sunroof. Ah, see that? It's smoother, it's more elegant, it just flows. That one little change makes all the difference, and that's the power we're going to unlock today.
Okay, so what is this magic trick? It feels like magic, I know, but I promise you it's not. It is a simple, really elegant piece of grammar that, once you get the hang of it, is going to totally change how you communicate your ideas.
So let's officially meet our new best friend in writing. We're talking about something called a relative clause. And trust me, it sounds way more complicated and intimidating than it actually is.
At its heart, a relative clause is just a little group of words that gives you more information. That's it. Its entire job is to pop into a sentence and tell you a little more about a person, a place, or a thing, a noun, that you just mentioned. Super simple.
You know, an easy way to think about this is to just think of them like super-powered adjectives. An adjective adds detail, right? A blue shirt, a delicious meal. Well, a relative clause does the exact same thing, it just uses a few more words to do it. That's why you'll sometimes hear them called adjective clauses.
Let's look at a real example here. I could just say, I like mixing with people. Fine. But which people? The clause, who are well-read, zooms right in. It specifies exactly the kind of people I'm talking about. It adds this wonderful layer of precision and detail. So how do you even spot these things? Well, you look for these key introductory words. Think of them like little flags. When you see a who or a that or a where right after a noun, that's your clue. There's a very good chance you're looking at a relative clause.
Okay, everybody, lean in for this next part, because this is probably the most important thing we're going to cover. If you want to master these clauses, it really all comes down to one simple distinction. This is the one rule you absolutely need to know.
So what's the big secret here? Well, the good news is you don't have to memorize a bunch of complicated rules. Instead, you just have to ask yourself one single question.
Every single time you use one of these clauses, you just have to ask yourself, is this information totally essential for my reader to understand who or what I'm talking about? Or is it just some interesting extra tidbit? The answer to that one question changes everything about how you write the sentence.
And this is why that question is a game changer. If the information is essential, if it defines what you're talking about, you use no commas. Simple. But if the information is just extra, non-essential stuff, you wrap that clause in commas. Those commas are a little signal that this part could be removed and the main point of the sentence would still be totally clear. Okay, to make this crystal clear, let's use an analogy. Let's think of that essential defining clause as a spotlight.
Imagine a dark stage, and there's a whole crowd of people. If I just say, she is the person, you'd ask, which person? Well, the clause, who stole my bag, is the spotlight. It shines right on one specific person and identifies her. Without that clause, the sentence is meaningless. That information is absolutely essential, and that's why there are no commas.
Now let's flip that. Check out this sentence. We already know which zoo we're talking about, right? The zoo. The main idea is that it's one of the best in the country. The fact that it was built 7 years ago, that's just a fun fact, an interesting aside. It's extra info, so we tuck it away between commas to tell the reader, hey, this is just a little bonus detail for you.
So if you remember one thing, remember this. Commas are a signal. They're a message you're sending to your reader. When you use them around a clause, you're literally saying, hey, you can lift this part out, and the main sentence will still make perfect sense. No commas means that information is way too important to be removed.
All right. So why does any of this even matter? I mean, who cares about commas and clauses, right? Well, it matters because this is what takes your writing from just okay to actually great.
For one, you get to connect your thoughts seamlessly, like we saw with the car example. No more choppy sentences. 2, you get to avoid repeating the same words over and over again, which can sound clunky. And 3, honestly, your writing just sounds more sophisticated. It shows that you can handle more complex ideas within a single, elegant sentence.
Look, at the end of the day, this isn't just about memorizing grammar rules because you have to. It's about being in control of your writing. It's about making conscious, deliberate choices to get your ideas across with as much clarity and as much style as possible.
So I'll leave you with a question to think about. Now that you have this really powerful tool, how can you start looking at all those other grammar rules a little differently? Not as restrictions, but as opportunities. Opportunities to make your writing, and maybe even your thinking, clearer and more powerful than ever before.